Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Health Hour. A very big thank you to our beautiful MC, Lynn, for the wonderful introduction. Yeah, so today, like she mentioned, we are going to talk about the Ecosphere, our New Skin's water purification technology. Okay, so I think we all know that water is important. Okay, we all know water is important. By the end of the day, right, how important is it? Okay, so just to start our presentation today, I'm going to share a bit about my own story. Okay, so this was a picture taken sometime end of last year. Okay, but actually when I first met New Skin in 2012, okay, I was not I felt that natural was good enough. Okay, everything natural. Uh, but I felt that after having met New Skin and after having taken the supplements and all the different products, right, I realized that wow, I think it is we can't just rely on natural anymore. Maybe if we were born like 100, 200 years ago, where the air was fresh, the water was clean, I think natural would have been okay. But these days, because of all the pollutants around us, all the processed food that we eat, I think we need to take better care of ourselves. And that is where New Skin supplements come in. Okay. Okay, and of course we have our beauty devices, and New Skin also came up with this wonderful device called the Ecosphere, our water purification technology. Okay, so our water is basically made up of about 60% of water. Okay, it goes to show how important water is, right? Yeah, so of course, all our bodily functions require water. Things like respiration, metabolism, detoxification, blood circulation, all these lack water. In fact, if our water, okay, let's say you have 60% water, if the water level in our bodies drop by just 2%, 1 to 2%, you are actually facing dehydration. Okay, that's how important water it is to you. Okay, and I have the story of this friend. Okay, she was actually one of my TR90 customers. Okay, and she said that one day she felt a bit of a knee pain, joint pain. Okay, after exercise, and she actually went to consult her doctor friend, and her doctor friend said, drink more water. You are short of water. After exercise, you don't drink enough water. So this is actually what happened. Even when you don't drink enough water, all your joints actually can start to hurt. Okay, so I think this is a news to us. So basically, this is how important water is. Okay, and of course, we also know that the skin is the largest organ in our body, and we all want to have good, clear skin, right? And how do we achieve that? Is basically drinking good water, good, clean water, okay? So I guarantee you, if you drink more and more water, good, clean water, you will actually improve your skin condition as well. Okay, so next, the question is, how much water do we need? So if you look at this picture, right, our body uses a lot of water in the different body parts. Like the lungs is made up of 83% water, the skin is 64%, and of course, blood is 90% water, right? Okay, so how much water do we really need? Basically, for women, okay, we need about 2.7 liters of water, and for guys, about 3.7 liters of water. But of course, this is a guide. Okay, it depends on your normal day-to-day activities. You may need more water than normal people. Okay, because if you're doing more, you're spending more time outside, or you're exercising frequently. Okay, you will need to adjust the water levels that you need. Okay, so in Singapore, right, I think it is we're actually quite fortunate. Okay, a lot of times we know that we need to drink good clean water, but what sort of factors should we consider when we take in water? Okay, so in Singapore, okay, water quality, I think, is one of the more important things that we need to consider, right? Because we're drinking something into our body. We're not applying it on our skin. We're actually taking it into our body. So the water quality is actually very important. So okay, now so this is actually the process of how water reaches us at home. I think in Singapore we actually quite fortunate. The government takes very good care of us. They ensure that we have good clean water, and the water that actually is dispensed from the reservoirs, okay, the water treatment plants to us is actually clean. But unfortunately, because I feel that because of the age of the copper pipes, a lot of the copper pipes have already corroded over the years, and a lot of the sediments are actually collected. So it is actually not because the water is not clean. It's just that en route to reach us in the taps, right? Actually, we pick up a lot of these sediments that have been collected over the years. And of course, our friends in Malaysia, I think it is also a very big concern. I think almost every household in Malaysia has some sort of water filtration system. Am I right? Yeah, a water collection system even. I know of a lot of homes who actually collect their own rainwater, because you never know when the water is going to be cut off, or whether the water that comes out from the tap is actually meant to be suitable for drinking. Okay, so I think this is something that we need to consider. Okay, so I just, before I was preparing for this class, right, I actually thought about some of the movies that I've actually watched before. I don't know whether if you all remember, there were a few movies that talked about how people in certain villages or certain areas, okay, often face the same ailments, diseases, okay, like for example, cancer and stuff. Okay, and they realized that a lot of times, right, why is it that all the people in this area were actually having a lot of health issues is because of the water in that area, the water that they were drinking. Okay, so because they're drinking in such a long term, right, they don't know that, they didn't realize that actually the water was contaminated. Okay, because if you're only drinking it for like 1 or 2 days, you may not feel the side effects. But if you're drinking it for 20, 30, 40 years, okay, the accumulated toxins in your body actually can make you very, very sick. Okay, so because we're drinking water for the long term, please make sure that you drink good, clean water. All right. Okay, so our Ecosphere uses this very unique technology. It's called the I4 purification technology. Okay, so we're going to talk a bit more about this I4 purification technology. Okay, so we're going to spend a bit of time at this slide, right? I'm going to try and explain it to you in very simple terms. Okay, so it's a 4-step process. Okay, the first process is actually the pre-filter process. Okay, so of course, this is the first stage, okay, where they try and collect all the bigger particles, okay, like the dust, the sand, the rust, okay, that could be present inside the water. So this part, okay, they use this material called polypropylene, okay, and they make it in accordion shape uh, um, pleats arrangement, right? So there's a larger surface area, like accordion. When you stretch it out, it's a very large surface area, right? So because of this very large surface area, it's able to catch more of these sediments that we don't want to have in our water. Okay, so this is the first step. Okay, and of course we also want to catch these big sediments so that it doesn't affect the later steps of the purification process as well. Okay, so that's the first step. And the second step, okay, actually, sorry, that's too fast. Okay, the second step actually uses this dense carbon block. Okay, so we a lot of people know the very good benefits of carbon. Okay, one of the big benefits of carbon is that it's able to remove smells. Okay, smells from not only from water. Sometimes we use it in under the sink, under in our wardrobes to actually remove the musky smell as well. So it's actually a very good compound to actually remove the nasty smells. And actually a lot of smells are present in water. Okay, for example, okay, in Singapore, the government puts a lot of chlorine inside the water because they think that chlorine is going to kill all the bacteria in the water. Okay, but they also don't realize that chlorine gives out a really bad smell. Okay, for me, I really don't like the smell of chlorine. Okay, the one that you can smell in the swimming pools, right? And sometimes if you go to a restaurant, the waiter will actually serve you water. Okay, but a lot of times when I smell the water, the chlorine smell is so strong. Okay, because it's straight out of the tap. Okay, there's nothing wrong with. I think honestly, drinking chlorine won't kill you. Of course, small amounts of chlorine will not kill you, but the smell, I think, just totally puts me off, so that I don't even want to drink the water no matter how thirsty I am. Okay, and of course young children are actually very sensitive to smells as well. So if you serve them a glass of water with a very strong chlorine smell, they also may not want to drink water. And we all know that we want our children to drink a lot of water, right? Yeah. So of course that's one of the properties of carbon, okay, that is able to remove all the nasty smells. Okay, and of course in this second stage of this purification system, right, New Skin uses something we call compressed activated carbon. Okay, there are many types of carbon available. Okay, but we choose this compressed activated carbon because they realized that this type of carbon was able to catch, okay, was able to filter out more of the contaminants, the organic contaminants and chemicals, chlorine and lead. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. For example, right, there's another type of carbon called granulated carbon. It's also carbon. okay? But if you use granulated carbon, you will not be able to filter a lot of these contaminants from your water, okay? So not all carbon is made the same, all right? And of course, this carbon is also something that's actually quite difficult to, okay, it's not a very easy to come by compound. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. What is this compressed carbon? Okay, so if you think about 3 grams, okay, like, okay, 1 teaspoonful of carbon, this activated carbon, right, is able to cover the surface area of an entire football field. Okay, I don't know if you can imagine that, but how can 3 grams of carbon cover an entire surface area of a football field? Okay, that's how powerful this compound is. Okay, so and Nu Skin uses this very powerful compound in this second stage of the purification system to ensure that all these contaminants and chemicals are actually filtered out during this second stage. Okay. And then, of course, at the same time, like I mentioned earlier, we don't want to use just any old carbon, okay, because water is the nature of water is that it will take the easiest path to flow, okay, and this process is actually called channeling, okay. So if you were to use like the normal carbon, right, the water will just be able to flow through. The water containing all the contaminants will be able to flow through to the next stage, okay, without being filtered off. So we must use this compressed carbon, okay? And then, okay, we go on to the next stage 3, which is actually quite interesting, okay, because the water will actually pass through something we call a polyether sulfur membrane, okay, to be short, a PES membrane, okay, because it's quite a mouthful, right, the name, okay, but what did you know that this PES membrane, right, usually only the big pharmaceutical companies use it during their production process. You know, like when they produce like medicines or medications, right? Only these big pharmaceutical companies use it because it's actually not a very cheap process, and at the same time, right? I think it is not it actually takes more effort to use this process. Okay, so for example, if our normal the food that prepares the kitchen that prepares our food. Okay, sometimes we go and order food from here, order food from there, right? These companies are definitely not going to use this PES membrane filtered water to cook our food, okay, to prepare what we eat. Okay, so I think we need to thank Nu Skin because they have put in so much thought into this filtration system so that they ensure that all the bacteria, all the viruses are actually filtered out in this step 3 process. Okay, so and just an example, right? This very dense PES membrane is able to filter out, okay, uh, particles, okay, that are between 10, okay, to 100 nanometer. Okay, so what is nanometer? So nanometer is a measure of size, okay. So to give you an idea of what nanometer is, okay, one of our hairs on our head, right, is actually about 80 to 100,000 nanometer. But this step 3 actually is able to filter out particles that are between 10 to 100 nanometer. So you actually can imagine how tiny these pores are, okay, that actually captures a lot of the bacteria and the viruses, okay. And then in the final stage 4, okay, this stage is actually where we use this UV technology, okay, that actually will kill out all the whatever was not killed in the first 3 parts, right? It will kill it here in this last stage, okay. It will make sure that all the microbiological contaminants are actually killed off so that we actually are able to drink safe, clean and healthy water. Okay, so don't worry if anything was not filtered off in the first 3 stages, it will be killed off by the UV light in this stage 4. All right. Okay, so of course, this one of the selling points of this I4 purification technology is the ability to have this 6-log reduction in bacteria. So what does this 6-log reduction in bacteria mean? It's a bit of science, okay? But I like science because it actually means that Nu Skin actually is not just a company that just says. They actually prove it. Clinical studies, through numbers, they prove it that this water filter system actually works for us. So we talk about log, right? So I give you an example. Let's say you have a glass of water that contains 1 million CFUs of bacteria. Okay, 1 million CFU CF use is just a measure lah, okay? So imagine you have a glass of water, and inside this glass of water you have 1 million CFUs of bacteria. Quite scary, right? Okay, but by decreasing it by one log, okay, reducing bacteria by one log, you are left with 100,000 bacteria. Okay, see, you follow the graph. Okay, and reducing it by another log, you're actually left with 10,000 bacteria, okay, in the glass of water. Okay, but New Skin doesn't just only reduce it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it reduces it by 6 log, which means at the end of the day, right, in that glass of water, you are left with only between 0 to 1 bacteria. Okay, so I think we need to give a very big hand to New Skin because they ensure that we are actually drinking good, clean, healthy water. All right. Okay, so next, besides good quality water, what else should we consider? Okay, when we decide that we want to buy a water filtration system. Okay, now we already know that we need good, clean water, right? Okay. So of course, there are many products outside there in the market. Okay, of course, we have our Ecosphere water purifier. And then next we have about alkaline water. Then we have something called reverse osmosis water. And then of course, this the very traditional water filter. Okay, but I think let's talk a bit more about, first of all, the reverse osmosis. Okay, when we talk about reverse osmosis, right? Actually, it is able to produce clean water. But the problem is that because it is this reverse osmosis process, right, also gets rid of all the beneficial minerals inside the water, things like calcium, things like magnesium, okay, which actually our body needs, all right, for the normal bodily functions, right, it's also removed at the same time. But because we want to retain this calcium and this beneficial minerals, right, so we actually shouldn't rely on the reverse osmosis process. Okay, and not only is that, actually usually if you look at this reverse osmosis filters, right, they're actually very bulky. They take up a lot of space, and usually to be able to derive one glass or one bottle of reverse osmosis water actually takes a really long time. Okay, and then next we actually have okay, so I think a lot of people talk about alkaline water. You have probably heard about alkaline water from your friends also, right? A lot of them tell you, oh, I drink alkaline water, I become healthier. I drink alkaline water, I become stronger, for example lah. Okay, I think everybody's body is different. Okay, so what how it affects one person may not affect the same person in the same way. Okay, but just to give you an idea of how beneficial alkaline water is to us. Okay, using science, using numbers. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. Our body's pH. Does everybody know what our body's pH is? Okay, pH is just a measurement of how acid or how base, how alkaline our body is. So our body pH is actually about 7.4. Okay, so if you think about it, our stomach is very acidic, right? Because it's actually trying to digest all the food that we eat. So the stomach pH level is about 1 to 2. Okay, and how they measure pH level is actually using this something we call hydrogen ions. Okay, the number of hydrogen ions determine how acidic or how alkaline something is. Okay, so imagine our pure water actually is 7. Okay, so it actually has 0 hydrogen ions, for example. Okay, so if you talk about our stomach, okay, our stomach 1 to 2, right, we actually have about 1 million, okay, hydrogen ions in our stomach. Okay, just to give you an example of using numbers, 1 million. Okay, and then of course we drink alkaline water, and usually when we drink alkaline water, right, the alkaline water cannot be very alkaline. I cannot be like this, according to this chart, it cannot be like 14 or 13, because that's like, you know, what we use to clean our drains and clean to make our clothes white. Okay, so that will definitely it's not good for the body. In fact, it may kill you. All right, so we cannot drink such alkaline water. Okay, so usually when we drink alkaline water, usually it's about 7, between 7 to 8. Okay, maximum. Okay, and between 7 to 8, how many hydrogen ions are there inside? Okay, it's probably like about 10. Okay, 0 to 10 maybe. So if you have 0 to 10 negative ions, right, negative hydrogen ions, and then you have 1 million, okay, hydrogen ions in your stomach, the acidic environment, right? Do you think drinking that bit of hydrogen alkaline water will be able to overturn that number, the acidic environment in your stomach. Okay, I personally think it is very highly unlikely. According to numbers, it is very highly unlikely. Okay, so of course I'm not saying that alkaline water is no good, but I'm just saying that if somebody tells you that drinking alkaline water can actually help to make your blood I don't know, make your blood change your blood pH, okay, or the water pH in your body, okay, then I think it is probably not possible. Okay, because actually even if you drink something that's very alkaline, right? Okay, the body actually has this function called homeostasis. Okay, this body function called homeostasis, right, is actually very amazing. Okay, this is how the body regulates what happens in our body. For example, after if you go and run for like 20 minutes, you run for 20 minutes, you find that your body temperature increases, right? Okay, you start to sweat and then your body temperature increases. But after a while, maybe about 20 minutes or so, you rest for 20 minutes or so, your body temperature actually normalizes again. How does that happen? This is the process of homeostasis, okay, where the body will do its best to make sure that everything becomes regular again by regulating, like maybe producing sweat so that evaporation helps to cool down the body, the surface of our skin, okay, stuff like that. So actually this homeostasis process is actually it's a miracle of the human body, where it regulates itself, it self regulates. So this, if you ask me whether alkaline water will actually benefit us in that sort of way, I think no. Okay, and this is actually an example. Okay, so back in America, okay, there's this author, the author of this book called pH Miracle. He was sued by one of his cancer patients because in his this author claimed that drinking alkaline water would help to cure his cancer. Because why did this author say that? Because he was able to get some cancer cells, and then he actually put them into a petri dish inside a laboratory environment. Okay, and he realized that the cancer cells, okay, when he put them in an alkaline environment, right, they were not able to thrive. Okay, in fact, they were not doing, they didn't do well lah, which means it's killing the cancer cells. But you realize that our human body is not a petri dish. It's not a dish where you can just add alkaline water and then hope to kill the cancer cells. Okay, our human body is made out of so many different systems, so many different functions. You cannot compare a petri dish to us, and hence that's why his hypothesis that alkaline water can cure cancer is not true. Okay, and of course he was sued for it lah. Okay. Okay, so this is actually an example of a friend. One of her testimonials who said that okay, she actually had a lot of calcium in her body, a calcium buildup in her body. Okay, which actually was reaching like levels where the doctor said that she needed to do something about it. And her consultant actually told her, why don't you try drinking our Ecosphere water? Okay, and this is what she did. So every day she would bring about 1.5 liters of Ecosphere water to work with her to drink. And she, lo and behold, okay, she said that my calcium finally went down. I didn't do anything except drink Ecosphere water. Okay, so how amazing is our Ecosphere water, all right? So next, I'm going to show you a video. I really, really love this video. Okay, let's watch the video on the left. So a lot of times we think that, oh, water is very clean to drink, right? But sometimes, the brown water comes out of our taps and then we worry. But don't worry, because we have the Ecosphere, okay? With just one touch of a button, okay? Just watch. One touch of a button, wow, the water turns clear. And this is good, clean, healthy drinking water, all right? Amazing, right? Yeah, wonderful. So this, of course, this is water that has gone through that 4-step purification that we talked about earlier, right? Okay, so this is, and then on the right hand side, this is actually a picture of some, in many, I think in many households in Malaysia, they actually, they call it water storage. Okay, they actually store their own water, whether it be rainwater or water from whatever sources, and you realize how murky the water is. Okay, and this is actually water that is actually going to be used to drink or used to cook. Okay, so it's actually quite scary. All right. Okay, so user experience. Next, of course, we know water. We want to drink good clear water. We know that which process is the best for us. okay, because the water purifier, alkaline water doesn't really have additional benefits, okay. Reverse osmosis is a bit mafan, okay, and the traditional ones actually is a bit mafan to keep changing the filters. So we think that Ecosphere is actually the best choice for us. Then of course what we want to do next is, of course, we must be able to maintain it easily. Okay, anything that we install in the house, right, we want to be able to maintain it easily without having to take out a lot of different screws, a lot of different casings in order to reach the part that we need to change. So when I first installed this okay, not first install. I had to, my aunts actually purchased the Ecosphere from me, and she said, Serene, can you come and change the filter system, because the indicator says that it needs to be changed already. Then I said, wow, I haven't changed it before. Should I be worried? So actually, I just very quickly purchased the the replacement cartridge, and I actually brought it to the house and just step by step, okay, it took me like a total of 2 minutes to change the cartridge. So how amazing is that? Somebody like me, right, who has never done it before, 2 minutes you can actually change the cartridge very easily, and to set it up right is even easier. Okay, you just need there are actually many adapters that will definitely be able to fit your water tap, okay, and it actually takes up really really small space. Okay, and talk about how long can our filter last, right? Actually, the Ecosphere cartridge, right, on a normal family would actually last you about a year before you need to change the cartridge. Okay, it's about 10,400 water bottles, about 500 ml water bottles. Okay, so of course, when we are just going to wash plates, we don't use the filtered water lah. We just use the normal water to wash plates. Okay, then of course, only when we need to drink water, then we change it to the filter part. Okay. And of course, look at the design. I always think that our Ecosphere is the Apple of water filtration systems. How beautiful it is. It takes up such a small footprint on our countertop, and it actually is so pretty. Okay, I've never seen a water filter system that's even prettier than ours. Okay. So in summary, okay, this is actually what our Ecosphere is all about. It uses the intelligent four-stage ultra purification that we went through earlier. Okay, that even a lot of it is mainly used by a lot of standards that are used by pharmaceutical companies. Okay, and it's clean. Okay, it's sleek. The design is amazing. It takes out a very small footprint on our countertop, which means that it doesn't require a lot of space. So even if you have a very small wash basin area, definitely you'll be able to find enough space to place our Ecosphere. Okay, it's a closed system, meaning you don't see a lot of pipes and hoses and a lot of tubes running around. Okay, you only see this very beautiful white sleek device. Okay, the installation is really fast. Okay, about 20 minutes you're able to install, and the replacement takes 2 minutes, all of 2 minutes. Okay, and you don't waste water. Okay, not like the reverse osmosis process. And of course, the most important is easier to use. Okay, so I actually have a lot of older relatives who actually purchased this for their own use, because to them, clean water is important, but they also need to make sure that it's easy to use system. Okay, so this is actually my last slide for today. So of course, New Skin actually provides many supplements for us. Okay, and we know supplements are important to ensure that we live younger and we look good. Okay, and live healthily as well. But of course, because our body is made up of 60% water, we also need to make sure that we get good clean water into our system, because we don't want to have to drink in all the toxins, and then after that we need to get rid of the toxins. That's like making our body work doubly hard for nothing. So make sure we drink good clean water, eat all our wonderful Pharmanex supplements, use all our beauty devices, and I assure you, I guarantee you, you will actually live younger, live longer, and live more beautifully. All right. So with that, I'm actually come to the end of my presentation for today. My name is Serene, and back over to you, Lynn.